Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channels, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. We forgot our lines, bro. It's been so long that we didn't.
For real.
Dude, good to see you. Happy belated Thanksgiving. Obviously excited to hear about everything happening on your trip. I'm doing well though, bro. Freezing my ass off. It's cold as shit. Not cold as shit, but like, like in South Florida, we're used to like 70s is like nice and chill. It's like in the 50s now in the morning. And I'm just like, bro, this is not it. And I'm going to New York this weekend, by the way, and it's meant to be colder than Alaska over the next like 15 days in New York. So I'm like, perfect. Chasing that shit. But I've been good, man. Had a great Thanksgiving, was with the in-laws in Dallas. But bro, I know it's been 20 days since I last saw you. So how was the trip? How was that overall experience for you, man? Because it was it felt like a nice long trip for you.
Yeah, it was the longest trip I can think of that I've had. And coincidentally, Seoul in Korea had, I think, the coldest it's been since like 1904 or 1905 or something, which is insane. But it was beautiful. I think overall the trip was super magical just because not only was I out there for a long time, but coincidentally, we shared our time with like a group of friends who happened to be there at the same time. Like none of it was really planned. And yeah, it aligned. And I've always been a big fan of Asia in general. And I would say the highlights that like maybe I guess I forgot because this wasn't the first time I was in Japan or Korea, was that everything was insanely cheap. And like these aren't third world countries. So when you go to like Europe or wherever, certain things are more expensive than others, but usually you're thinking I'm going to be living like I'm back home. But
yeah,
like the food was so high quality, like literally meals for like $6-7 at most. And the fact that you also don't have to tip makes it 10 times cheaper too. And the service is top notch. Like they're not, expecting anything in return. And the fact that you get all of this for such a cheap price makes me not want to tip a goddamn person at this point in time, especially because they don't try.
Yeah, don't spin your fucking pad at me, bro. You're not getting 25%.
Exactly.
Right. Oh man, that's nice. So what was the but like even the alcohol was cheap?
Yeah, everything was cheap, like insanely cheap. Like it didn't matter if it was a cocktail, it was still, I don't know, like $7.
Wow.
It's just insane how different it is. And, these aren't like random ass hole in the wall places.
These are like highly recommended TripAdvisor type spots. Yeah.
Yeah. And even like the Subways, like Subway, the fast food restaurant, Subway, McDonald's, like these establishments look like a place you would go on a fucking date. Like that's how nice and organized everything is. And that's another thing too. Like the Subway had heated seats, the bus stops had heated seats. Everyone's, fully aware of personal space. No one's bumping music, smoking weed like they do in the Bay. And I just think all of that like made the vacation very calm and peaceful, because in certain other places you're on guard, and people are leaving their laptops out literally to go to the bathroom for 20 minutes and nobody's going to steal anything, which is insane to me. I felt like I was in a fantasy world, and I get it. Like I live in the extremes of like what you see on TV with people, robbing parked cars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. But I just all of that combined made the trip super worthwhile.
Nice. So what was the exact highlight though? What was like the top one thing of the entire trip?
Top one thing of the entire trip. It's tough to say, but I really did like the hotel in Busan, which is like the coastal city in South Korea, down south. And I don't know, I just didn't expect the infinity pool view to be like that majestic. Like it overlooked the city and the beach. Again, service was out of this world. Even room service was like what you would pay at a restaurant for takeout. Like, I don't know, like $12 burger or something. But in the US, you'd pay fucking $38 just for anything, a burger, what have you. And it was also just like the food and vibe of that city just put me at peace. So I think that was probably the highlight. The trip also started off extremely rough in a good way, but like we landed at 8 and then met up with the group of friends that had already arrived. And we stayed out till 5 a.m. Like none of us anticipated that. We weren't even sure if we were going to go out, period. But I don't know if like the jet lag or the excitement say like, we'll deal with this later, but we stayed out till 5 a.m. Not just once, but the first 2 nights in a row. And that's when I hit you up about the Yakuza bar.
Yeah.
Wrapped up. So
Quick question. Was there did that help you skip the jet lag altogether?
I think so, because I don't recall like needing to nap really throughout the trip. So for the most part, I was after that on track with my sleep.
Nice, dude. Nice. That's awesome, man. But comparing the two countries, if there's one that you'll do for a third time before you do the other, which one would it be and why?
Probably Korea. And I say that, I mean, I'm biased in this case because that's where I'm considering moving to strongly with my wife. But I think generally speaking, Korea, the culture is a lot more relatable. I think Japan it feels a bit more robotic in terms of how they operate. And I'd say like for someone who's never been to Asia, Japan's probably more appealing because there's a lot more unique cultural sites that exist because, you know, Korea's were all destroyed by Japan. But Japan's like the more, I guess, commercialized experience that someone who's unfamiliar with Asia would probably appreciate more and understand more because we all kind of grew up on Japanese culture to a degree. But for me, Korea, I think offers a much better nightlife scene. It's much more familiar to the US in general. And I think there's a better variety of food. Like they do Japanese food very well, other cuisines very well. I think Japan's like more focused on their own cuisine. And honestly, outside of like sushi and some of the more basic stuff like beef bowls and things like that, I realized like the super, I guess, traditional foods that we might not be aware of aren't really my palate. So that's another thing too. Like Korean food, I could eat all day and they do other foods well. So that's another thing that I'm very focused on when it comes to travel is the food.
The cuisines. Yeah. I feel that. So you said it was cold for the most part, was it like on the warmer side, both countries, or was like generally a little bit chilly?
It was chilly both. I would say definitely more so Korea, especially because it snowed towards the end. So Korea, I want to say was like in the 40s at night, whereas Japan was like high 50s. So Japan, like with the light jacket, you were good, but with Korea, I was like at certain points needed a glove. I had like undershirts on and stuff.
Oh damn!
So yeah, it was definitely super chilly. But
you knew this going in though. It was a surprise.
No. I definitely prepared for it, and it's one of those things like once you're there for a few days, you just get used to it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big deal.
Nice, dude. Good for you, bro. That's awesome. Yeah, the pictures looked amazing. Definitely wanted to ask you about it. But yeah, dude, I mean, just being gone for that long is what I'm also looking forward to for myself, selfishly, for the honeymoon, bro. Like, that's in 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, just being gone for like fucking 14 days and just like whatever it is, right? And not having to worry about what's at home waiting for me, what's the situation. It's just like, I think my boss asked me today about something. She's like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I am fine. Trust me." Like I am so checked out. Like, says you have no idea. I'm more than okay. So yeah. But yeah, man, I'm excited for you because you didn't have to work at all, right? Or did you like randomly catch an email here and there and like help out?
So the funny thing is, I didn't take Friday off because I never have anything to do on Friday. But coincidentally, of course, the week of like the head of my team schedules a meeting or postpones it to Friday 9 a.m., which was 2 a.m. In Japan. So at the bar, I stepped away to join the meeting, and I'm like, it'll be fine. No one's gonna call on me. And of course, like as my teammates talking, I don't know if it was just some filler bullshit or what, but she's like, I don't know if you have anything to add, Blair. And I couldn't fucking unmute because I walked around the corner and like every fucking place was blasting like club music and shit. And I was like, either I don't say a word and just pretend like the Wi-Fi was fucked up, or I unmute and they hear like Lil Wayne in the background saying God knows what. And then they're like, oh, he's for sure checked out and didn't take the day off. So I didn't say shit. And then fortunately the conversation just kept going. So I think I still have a job. I would hope, because my computer
work today.
Work today. Yeah. So, but besides that, it didn't work, and I don't think you should either.
Oh, no, bro. Dude, I'm really not even working all of December, bro. So I'm in New York for 2 days this week. So I'm taking Thursday, Friday off. Next week, I'm in Dallas for a wedding on Friday. So taking Friday off, and then back to Florida for a week and a half. And then I'm out for 2 weeks. So
nice.
Yeah, dude, mentally checked out. Like, dude, we had like a couple like 911s today, and I was like, cool. Let me know if you need my help later. But good luck to you good luck to you as you deal with that. Oh man! But on that note, let's get this episode going. Missed you, my dude. Good to have you back. Episode 197 is about to start. Episode 196 is up and everywhere. I mean, dude, we've been gone for almost 2.5, 3 weeks. I mean, we obviously need to start on the Kendrick Lamar aspect of this episode. Do you want to start on the album itself, give our reviews, the fallout ever since, the Drake aspect, the lawsuit? Like, where do you want to go with this?
Yeah, let's start out with the album, since that's kind of where we first kicked off our music conversation during the break.
Yeah, absolutely. So GNX surprise album drop Friday. I want to say this was like the Friday prior to Thanksgiving, which was Friday the 22nd. Out of nowhere, it dropped around noon Eastern. So he didn't even do the normal, like, midnight on Thursday kind of thing. Again, complete surprise drop. I was like, it's funny because I was texting Blair while he was in Korea, like a meme of like how Drake won, because like everyone's backpedaling their beef talk. Kendrick hasn't said anything in like 5 months, and then within 4 hours, it's like, here's an album, and I'm like, well, fuck me then. So, but dude, I mean, I love the album, bro. I mean, I think you realized it was gonna be good because I was like really praising it. I mean, bro, like I was one song in, and like I couldn't stop bopping my head, and I was like, oh fuck, right? And then I think you said something while we were chatting, while you were away. It's that like this is a kind of album, and I really wanted to ask you about this because obviously you've been more of a Kendrick fan than me over the years. Remove the last 6 months of nonsense out the way, because it felt like an album we've never gotten from him before, right? Mm-hmm. Like a appreciation for like club songs, an idea of like, hey, let's not overdo this with what this might mean. Let's just like be very to the point, but in a very clever way. Again, honestly, and this might sound so simple, but it felt like there was a lot of intention for this to be a replayable album, right? Because I think my reservations with Kendrick in the past, or critique, is that like, yeah, I like it, but I'm really not trying to hear that shit again, right? Like I think Mr. Morale was a great one. It was it was heavy though, so like I think people can understand why you don't want to hear that album again. But I think even previous stuff, bro, like besides Good Kid, Mad City, I think his other stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Like, dude, I tell you, Damn, I love Damn when it came out, but like after that first 1 or 2 spins, I'm like, we can move on, So I think for this one, it felt very, very calculated, very well executed, very intentional, right? The 12 songs, 44 minutes is, bro, a fucking phenomenal little sweet spot. And again, we'll get into the content over the course of this episode, but yeah, man, I was just highly, highly impressed from like the first listen. So like it just gave me that, and then like, oh, it's already over. Let's fucking run it back. And dude, I ended up listening to that song, like that album, like 4 or 5 times the first night, And I was just like, Jesus, like this hasn't really happened to me on anyone's album in a long time. So I fell in love right away. I think over time it's continued to like grow on me. How did you and obviously you being overseas, so how was that overall listening experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, waking up to your text and you screenshotting TV off. I mean, immediately, like I got excited because I knew if you were praising it already, I was like, it has to be fire because you wouldn't hold back if you thought it was trash or like lackluster or whatever. And I was like, and also I know like you and I appreciate bangers and like stuff that works in the gym and other environments. So I was like, worst case scenario, there's at least like a few keepers on it.
Yeah.
Listening to it, like I was impressed from the start through the end. Like there was not a moment where I felt like skipping or turning it off. And unfortunately, with a lot of music nowadays, I deal with that. Like you'll listen to the first 5 songs, you're like, all right, where's the keepers? This is kind of boring. Like they're doing the same shit. But I came to the realization, like you, that this was something we had never gotten from Kendrick, and it didn't feel forced at all either. And I know he's from the West Coast, but he never really tapped into this sound at all, except for I think Not Like Us was maybe the
Okay,
first
I was going to
time
ask you that. So was that like that? So that is a uniqueness to this recent version of him.
Yep. And I think a lot of it, I mean, mainly is just because like once you rap on a DJ Mustard beat, you no matter who you are, you're automatically making West Coast music, whether you like it or not.
That's a great point.
And the thing with Kendrick is similar to Drake, like he has the ability to do both things. And for some reason, it seemed like he never leaned into that. Like, for instance, I don't think like a J. Cole or like Lupe Fiasco could do something this well for that many songs.
Correct.
But Kendrick clearly can. And that's what I appreciated about it. And I definitely hope he does it more. And it's also clear that he can do this without someone phrased it well. It's like crash out conscious music. Like he's not just being completely I guess ignorant and saying pointless things throughout the entire thing. Like he's putting people on with their features. You know, they might not be saying the most prolific shit, but I think overall Kendrick made a statement and made it sound good and replayable. And for that reason, I think I'm going to be listening to this over and over more as well, because I already did. And it's funny you mentioned that, the replayability, because as much as I think Kendrick's objectively a better rapper than Drake was always my most listened to Spotify artist, and it's because he made replayable music. But now we finally have something where I could say it's probably not going to get old, like Mr. Morale or even Good Kid, Mad City. Like I think all those albums are classics, or close to
very
classic.
Good. Yeah, very good.
But I, like you, haven't revisited a lot of those previous albums.
Yeah. No, I agree. So what would you say you came out listening to the album, what would you say is the statement that you felt he was trying to like make very clear?
The overarching statement for me was basically fuck being humble. I'm unapologetically West Coast and like deserve this moment, or the moments I've been having. That was kind of like the overarching message I got.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think this is like it's time to talk my shit. And then like, I think it was like, it's time for me to talk my shit. And this is why I should be allowed to talk my shit, was kind of like what I got. Yeah. Cause I don't know, man. Like, I mean, again, I know I keep going back to Good Kid, Mad City, but that was like my first introduction to him. And I know that's fucking 10 years ago, maybe, or 11 years ago. But that still felt like a very hungry rapper, almost giving you like a phenomenal sophomore project. Right. So like, it was still like a young Kendrick. Whereas I think as he's gotten older, it felt more like he needed to be like this wiser version of, you know, what a gangster rapper should sound like. Again, and obviously he was doing it very well, right? But it always felt like preachy to me. which is why I never really went back to it a lot. Whereas this one felt like fun, bro. Yeah, I would say fun. This is probably the most fun I've ever had listening to a full Kendrick album.
Yeah. No, it's nice to when artists don't take themselves too seriously, because there's only so much heavy music you can listen to, and he did it very well. Like there was so many moments where I felt like it was almost like watching a concert live. Like I'm sitting there grinning, like, oh shit, this is just a good time. Like I want to listen to this over and over and over.
And I think the good time is, again, this might be the most obvious. I know this is like the most, I mean, it wasn't number one. I think, so as we're recording this on December 2nd, I think the top 10 songs came out on Billboard, and he has like 7 of the top 10. Number 1 is Squabble Up. And then number 2 is TV Off. I feel like TV Off is the most like viral of all the songs, right? Because of that mustard aspect of it on the beat switch up. But that is a phenomenal example of like, I feel like that moment, him doing the whole like Goku, whatever, like, you know, mustard sound. I feel like that moment only comes if you are so calm and like having a good time, right? Like you're present in the moment of like, yo, I know this is going to be fucking amazing, right? But if you're not in a good mood, I don't think there's any version of you that can jump in a booth and create that sound. You know, right? The whole, like all of like the, like all like the leading up to it, bro. Like there's no way, because like if you're in the booth just creating because like, again, we can go to Drake or now Lil Uzi or all these artists who are telling us with these 20 song albums, bro, I'm just doing this to get out of my deal, right? You can hear that in the music. Whereas with this dude, in all 12 songs, you at no point where you like, he's like, I gotta just, you know, add this 8th song to make sure it's, you know, it was like, no, bro, like I'm having so much fun. So that came through in an amazing way, to be honest. For the listener, the consumer, it truly got someone, I'm having a great fucking time. Yeah.
And I know some people, I'm sure there's people out there that think it's stupid or sounds weird or whatever, but I felt the same exact way. Like, yeah, it can be harsh on the ears, but what I took from it was the same thing as what you said, is the authenticity of like the project coming together. You can just imagine him being in the booth, like, oh, let me just throw this in because I'm just excited to be on another crazy mustard beat, and then, you know, leave it in there. And clearly it worked from a viral standpoint. And you know, he didn't do this so he could like manipulate TikTok, you know, views and think about getting like a Heinz deal or some shit. He just did it because he was having fun, and when you're having fun and you're talented, stuff like this happens. So I'm glad he chose to just relax a bit and make music that he hasn't delivered before.
Yeah. And I'm glad that, again, I know I have newer ears to him. So I'm glad you're confirming that, because again, I wasn't sure if that like, I'm just enjoying this more because like, one, there's a lack of quality music out in this year in general, right? Or we've been saying that for maybe 2.5 years. But I'm like, bro, I feel like I've heard enough Kendrick Lamar in my life where I'm like, this sounds very different, right? It wasn't like this. Again, there were dark moments, but even that was done like in a very like fun way. So it's like, how can you not enjoy this? If you had to give this album any kind of critique before we get into rating it, what would be a critique you would give it?
I would say one critique is I wasn't a fan of the GNX song. I just felt like that beat was very, I don't know, it felt very elementary to me, and kind of like just off. Like it felt like if Blueface's rapping was made into a beat, that's what it kind of sounded like to me.
Yeah, that one I was like, this is too LA for me.
Yeah, it was just like, I don't know. I wasn't really just into that particular beat for some reason. It was just like too basic or something. Not a terrible song, but I felt like,
no, but out of the 12 songs, that was like, that was one that you could do without 100%.
Yeah, especially given that every other song was like perfect, and then all of a sudden this one, even if it's average, you're like, why the fuck is this in here?
Yeah, it's like it's not worthy of the rest of the project.
Yeah. And then any other critiques, it's really tough to say. I mean, honestly, like, I don't know if we needed SZA twice. On Luther, absolutely. But the other one, I'm like, maybe he could have done something with someone else. But besides that, I really can't think of anything that stuck out as far as like what I would necessarily change.
Fair. No, so the G and X one is a good one. So I'll start. I only have two critiques. So one was the reincarnated song, right? So again, only because I'm not saying I'm like super West Coast, but I think we spoke about this in the past on the pod or in person. My older siblings were huge Tupac fans. Right? They're much older than me, so like they were like the same age, like growing up. So like me seeing when they would tell me things about that time, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, so that means immediately Tupac. So I knew immediately when the beat dropped for Reincarnated what he was trying to do, right?
Yeah.
And this is where I think you listen to the album enough times, I can appreciate the attempt, but I truly don't think that song was like well executed. Right? Like, I get the idea. You're trying to sample the beat, it kind of sound like him, and like talk to yourself like you're him, and all these things. And I'm like, I get it, but like it didn't hit for me, right? And I don't know if that's just because like I'm a Tupac snob and I know what good Tupac sounds like. So yeah, that was like the only thing about like a song. The GNX thing, I agree, but like Reincarnated, when I saw like everyone loving it, I'm like, really though? Like, were you a Pac fan though? Because I feel like if you were like a Pac fan, like, I know, I feel like, yeah, that's not, I get what you're trying to do. I appreciate the kudos, but like, that's not it.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad take. That's actually one of the things I was trying to remember because I knew there was something else that I could have done without. When I first heard it, I was kind of excited just because it's always cool to see an artist do something creative. Like, he's just thought of, oh, let me do something new that other people aren't thinking of. But after I listened to the album several times, it's definitely like a skip for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like there's necessarily a reason. Maybe it's basically what you're saying. It's kind of like if you already know what the best version of something is, which is the original, like why continue to listen to this more like watered down or alternative version in a way?
Like a cover band version, which again, the best cover band, but like it's still a cover band. Like that was like how I was listening to it.
Right. And I, not to compare the two, but I think I kind of felt the same way about Tailor Made. I'm like, I get the creativity of it. Like that's a dope, I guess, approach to the beef that like no one would ever think of. But at the same time, I'm like, I never wanted to listen to it more than once. And yeah, it's just, to me, it's just very momentary. Like when it comes to this album, any album or song, like you want to be able to revisit it more than once, I would think. And for that reason, I don't think I necessarily needed the Reincarnated song. Agreed.
So we're on the same page. And then I will piggyback off your SZA comment. And then with the only other thing, which we read this in the article I sent you, the Pitchfork review, that again was too harsh. So I won't even acknowledge the score it gave it because I think that's bullshit. But I do think I did get this throughout the album was like the gotcha Drake aspect of it, right? Like I think, again, that comes through in multiple songs, right? He never says his name, but like, you know what the fuck is up, right? Like Homeboy, like we know who he's talking about, right? And I think the SZA aspect of it, to your point, like I don't know why SZA was on this album twice. I kind of think that has to do with it, bro. Like, oh, you thought you were gonna get the girl signed to me to be like with you for a couple of songs. Psych. She's here. She's on my shit. I have her twice. We're not even thinking about you. Like I think that's all part of it, bro. So I felt like there very much was again, the album was great, bro. So I'm not going to say to a point we made a few months ago that I don't think this album was, I hate Drake, and here's 44 minutes of it, right? I don't think that was it. But there was enough of it that I'm like, man, like, I feel like these songs could have been fire without those one or two references sprinkled in literally through like 8 of the 12 songs. I was just like, this felt like, come on, bro. Like we get it, dog. Like come on. What else do we need here?
No, I agree with that. But I also think it's tough because like if he had released the same album before the beef a year ago, maybe some people would think call it subliminal, but I feel like it wouldn't interfere with the listening experience quite as much.
Agreed. Because the beef is so fresh.
Yeah, like anything they do, Drake or Kendrick, they're gonna tie it to the beef. Like any passive aggressive caption, fucking interviews. Like no matter what they do at this point, they're gonna be like, oh, he's referring to him. And I think that's what probably I imagine would make it difficult for Kendrick is especially in hip hop. Like you're always talking shit about this, like
to someone, this person. Mythical like fake rapper, hater. Whatever. Yeah. But again, I agree with that, and I think because the beef ended, honestly, it felt like throughout like the beef happened fucking like a week ago, right? As opposed to back in early May. But I would say, I mean, dude, but the line. These were past subliminal though, right? Like on Man of the Garden or Man in the Garden, like, why do you deserve to be the greatest of all time, motherfucker? Yeah. It's like, bro, come on, what do we like you know what I'm saying? And it was just like that stuff was sprinkled in. So yeah, I would just say that. And then also like I didn't care, and this again, and I'll leave the Drake stuff on this album alone. On waxed out murals or whatever the full
whacked out murals,
yeah. Maybe it was Apple Music because Apple Music be pussy sometimes. Did Spotify have moments on that song that it's blurred out?
Yeah, they blurred it out, and I don't know if it's blurred out or if Kendrick specifically not including it because like it could potentially lead to
legal issues or
something. Like if he's saying some wild accusation, I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, because that was the only thing. Because even that, I'm like, did he just say something about Drake? And then I'm like, did he say something about fucking Diddy? Because I know he has like the Cat Williams reference and like, I'll make Cat Williams proud. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, so that was like the only thing. I'm like, bro, just like, if you're gonna put it in the song, like put it in the song, right. You know, as opposed to like just this like awkward moment of like, yo, is my shit like stuck? Like I was like, that's what I thought for like a moment.
Yeah, no, I had the same feeling, and I think one of them was definitely about Diddy because he had mentioned like while you guys some rappers are laughing about some situation, like you should be on trial too.
Yeah.
So I assume he's alluding to rappers being up to some fishy predatory type behavior.
Yeah. But again, overall though, great album. Dude, ran through it multiple times now. Again, I kind of want to do the thing where you make your own version of the album just to remove certain songs, right? So you can just like don't have to skip it or anything. But then again, you get a TV off and I'm just fucking repeat, start over. Wait till I get like all the bench press machine and like make sure like I hit the mustard part perfectly.
Do you think you know when he in Not Like Us he referenced that he had 5 more in stock or whatever? Do you think those 5 are on this GNX album?
Well, how was like the line on Not Like Us? Because remember, I didn't really listen to Not Like Us like that. Like I'm aware of Not Like Us, but like I don't know the words like that.
He said, "How many do I have in stock? How many stocks do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Oh, so I guess it would be 10. So like, some people were alluding to him having at least 5 more like tracks ready because did he release 5?
Oh, like diss tracks, you mean?
Yeah. So I'm wondering if he's just kind of vaguely saying I got 5 bangers that maybe not be directed.
Oh, I took that as like I got 5 more. If you want to keep this thing going, I can keep this thing going. That's how I took it.
And do you think this album has anything to do with?
No. I think this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because it has like the same energy as Not Like Us, but like maybe it was like the same like recording session or like he got the beat around the same time. But yeah, I don't think this one was like directed at Drake. At least I didn't take it that way. I mean, obviously, besides the line of like how to get a nigga gone. Like, again, there's so many like stuff like that. Like, bro, like I'm like, bro, we get it, bro. Like the what was it? Was it on Hey Now where he's like, I just strangled a goat?
Yeah, one of those songs.
Yeah, so it's just like, bro, like I get it. Like, bro, like you got it right now, like G. Like, it's just like, why? Because like I'll be bopping in the gym. I'm like, I don't want to say that line. Like, I don't want to. Let me just enjoy this song. Don't make me fucking like have to diss my man's because of it. So, but great body of work. Kudos to Kendrick Lamar. Great marketing. Just fucking dropped the album out of nowhere. Dropped the music video, and then now leading to the Super Bowl and Grammy season. This guy has plenty of stuff to go on stage with, or to be, you know, encouraging people to listen to before the Super Bowl. But before we move on to the other aspect of this, which is the Drake aspect, What would you give the on a scale of I guess like an A to F kind of a thing? What would you give this album?
This album, I would say a solid A. I think even with some of the misses we discussed, I don't consider them misses per se, just songs I don't particularly need to hear more than once. And there's only two. And I did enjoy Reincarnated the first time I heard it. And then the GNX song that I could do without, I still got excited by the fact that he put on lesser known LA rappers that I would have never expected to be working with him this soon. So I still appreciate all of that. So I would say an A personally.
Yeah, same. I think a for me as well. Giving it an A- would almost feel like a little bit too harsh. Yeah, so good for him. Do you think we're gonna get a because there are people who were saying that this is more like a teaser? Do you think we're gonna get like a second album right away? And the only reason why I don't know. I want to get your opinion. Obviously, we don't know shit, but me personally, and again, this guy's PR moves have been phenomenal. Even his fucking series of tweets are just still like that in itself needs to be studied as like how beautiful someone's timeline can look of just like mayhem. But I do think that I don't know if he even thought how well this was going to be received, bro, because I can't remember in a very long time. And I'm talking about, bro, 4 or 5 years where everyone has loved an album, right? Because if I look back to my fucking Apple Music library, like the albums that I loved over the last 4 or 5 years have not been like everyone fucks with them, right? Like I can go to Tyler the Creator or Yachty or, you know, all these specific moments that I've loved and you love, but it's not like everyone's like, oh yeah, play that Tyler Creator shit, right? This one felt like, bro, everyone's fucking with it. So I was thinking from the perspective, you drop something else, it could be like oh, well, it's not as good as GNX, so like, why'd you drop it? It's like, what do you think he's going to do as far as like a follow-up, if there's going to be a follow-up at all?
It's tough to say because I don't know. I feel like I get mixed. I mean, obviously I get your take on the album, and then I hear from Twitter and Reddit, and then I hear from people like Wayno and Joe Budden. So like, sometimes it's tough to get a pulse on like how it's being received, what the likely next move is, because there's definitely super vocal Drake haters who are like, what is this corny West Coast bullshit? Like no one bumps this. But I do think we're gonna end up getting more in terms of like the format. I don't know if it'll be a deluxe or an entirely new album. Personally, I don't need any new music anytime soon. Like I think that was my biggest critique of Drake, and I've heard a lot of others have the same critique, is he's just putting out too much too fast, always present, and then you don't even have a chance to let whatever he puts out sink in, and then you just kind of get sick of it. And I hope if Kendrick does drop again, it doesn't have the same like I defeated Drake energy, at least as overwhelming, because then at a certain point, like you said, like you're just gonna be thinking to yourself, I get it, like move on to something new, like in terms of your message. So I hope it's like some brand new experimental stuff, like on a level of Kanye where you're like, this doesn't sound like that. But I feel like he's gonna release more. I feel like it's overwhelmingly the theory across the internet. I think it's just up for debate, like when and what format.
Okay, but you're agreeing with, so I guess the pod is agreeing, like Audio Theory is saying we would recommend he doesn't. Like we would be like, if we were him, we wouldn't do it, but it kind of feels like it's inevitable.
I would personally say don't do it before the Super Bowl. And then after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. For sure.
After the Super Bowl, if you want to drop like the official album or whatever, this motherfucker could continue into 2026 if he plays his cards right.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing, dude. Maybe again, to the whole point of the album at times of like talking your shit. Maybe he wants that, bro. Maybe he's over being in solitude, right? He's like, I want to be outside now. I want to be, the talk of the town nonstop. Which, again, I feel like since late April, he really has been, right? Ever since that feature, he's been the top of conversation for damn near 7-8 months now. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, if I was him, I wouldn't do it. I mean, only from the idea of like the overall discography of his work, right? Is this necessary? But for the idea of just staying hot, then yeah, good for you. But the other side to this, the Drake aspect of it. So we're recording this on December 2nd. Drake, since the album's dropped, has done a stream with some guy named QOC. I think that's name or OQC,
XQC or something.
XQC, I think he's like the number one streamer in Canada. So that was interesting for him to hop on.
XQC.
XQC. So he jumped on that a couple days after the album dropped. Then he announces the Anita Max Win tour in Australia on the pod as well. And then obviously the biggest thing, which is him suing, or I guess I don't think it's actually suing just yet, but I think he's petitioned into the New York Supreme Court to dig into UMG, if they devalue the price of Not Like Us so we get more streams because the cost was down. So that one felt like the biggest thing in the Drake world, right? So I'll save my comment for last because I think as a Drake stan, like I feel like I'm taking it a certain way, like this overall thing. But like as of right now, like as of today, obviously I know you're abroad while all this is going down live, but like what is your thought process today on like where you stand with him?
Just in general or with these petitions?
All of it.
All of it. I think I'm just overall disappointed. And I think in combination with him being on the streamer thing and the gambling or whatever, and this, it just feels like to me his ultimate goal was like he never put the music first. It was just chasing the bag, which is totally fine. But I feel like all of this is like just for the bag. And I think in particular, like the streaming thing is one thing, but in particular with the petitions, the more I thought about it, the more it just seemed very hypocritical because he, for one, for sure has benefited from the alleged
boosting of the numbers,
manipulation or whatever. Everyone knows on Spotify when he released Scorpion, he was on every type of playlist ever, even for genres that had nothing to do with him. So that was insane to me. At the time, I didn't really care. I still don't, but I think now it just seems hypocritical because it's like you've benefited. And on top of that, I really don't think Not Like Us is a song that needed that kind of shit. Like, yeah, you can put money behind a song to make it a basic level hit that you can't escape for a couple months, but like this is a cultural moment where everybody and their family is from age 5 to 82 is dancing to this shit, and it's undeniably catchy and genius because it's generic enough to like make sense in any situation. Like that's how a hit song is made. So I'm not buying that whole lawsuit. And then in terms of like the defamation, at first, like I did think to myself, like the whole PDF file allegation is just some wild label. Not a single man especially would ever want to be called, because it's kind of like game over at that point. But two things, or maybe even three. One, I don't think anyone really believes Drake is a PDF file. It's just kind of like a funny joke that went a little too far. And technically in the song, Kendrick didn't even directly say that. It was just kind of implied from a few bars. But the average kid and old person and whoever.
I mean, I would say the only pushback there, and I'm agreeing with everything. I think the only pushback there is that when you're known as, especially like 2 albums removed, as the certified lover boy, and then he calls you, and then the next line is certified. Yeah. I don't know, bro. That seems like pretty.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not like any lyrical, like remotely, I don't know, engaged hip hop listener will put 2 and 2 together. So I'm not like in the courts. He can play dumb. With us, obviously not.
Yeah, correct. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I still don't think anyone, except for like the extremist Kendrick stan conspiracy theorist motherfuckers, think Drake is actually a PDF file. If anything, they just think he's kind of weird or freaky or whatever. But for that reason, it's not like he's losing hundreds of millions of dollars from Nike or some other random deal where people are like, oh shit, like I really can't work with him. There's too much evidence of this going on. I get it. I would be pissed too if I was him. But on top of that, I think the strongest reason I can't side with him is he technically started the low blow jabs with the wife beating accusations and Dave Free and all this stuff. And to me, it's like, you can't get mad if you bring a knife to a gunfight, stab someone and keep poking them. You're like, fight back. And then they pull out a fucking a shotgun and then blast you away. Like, if you want to take it there, and Kendrick also warned him, and he also Drake also fed him that ammo with TaylorMade by talking about, oh, like, use the I like young girls angle. And I don't think he thought Kendrick was gonna take it this route. Like,
yeah, take it to heart.
The label. Right, yeah. Like, if he said, hey Drake, I heard you like him young, and that was it, I honestly don't think we'd be in this position. But the A minor part going viral, the song itself being viral, I think that just stings infinitely more. And at this point, I think Drake's like, fuck it, I need to be present, and I can't win, so like, let me just take it here. But personally, I don't feel like he's suffering, so I think that's why I'm like, what are you doing? Not only are you not suffering, but you kind of started it, so like, why?
Yeah. And dude, I'm not even gonna add more context. I think you did a good job saying that very well. So yeah, I agree with you on all of it. So I would just say, so I'll give you the Drake fan aspect, and I think that like a lot of Drake fans, and I don't speak for all of us, because I know there's a lot of us, but I would just say I think a lot of Drake fans are struggling right now because and the last few words you said was like present, right? He always feels like he has to be present. I think this is why you and I were both saying when this was like at its peak, right? Removed when the album, we're like, bro, just go away. Bro, just go away, right? Just, there's no need for you to be in the limelight. Take your L, bro, and, you know, come back with vengeance, you know? But there was a constant need from the moment that Not Like Us came out. He went away for like, what, a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then just felt the need to be present on Instagram, putting out the 100 gigs, which I love. You know, I played those songs too many times, probably at Thanksgiving. But it was just like this constant need to be like seen, bro. And then like at the time where this guy is critiquing everything about you. So obviously I'm not saying if you make fun of me, I now need to be quiet. But bro, they're questioning like your place in the culture, right? And then you're coming out looking like a cowboy on a Spanish song, and then you're acting like a weirdo on a stream, right? And it's just like too much of it is just like so odd, man. And then this part particular, right? The lawsuit, defamation, whatever. It really, and I'll go to your point. You said this when we brought this up 4 months ago of like, you know, what if he sues? Dude, this seems like a version of him that like I might be done with this, right? Like there's, again, I don't think that's gonna happen. Again, I'm still holding out. I think the second part of my conversation to this is like I'm still holding out that Drake from like my like the October very own playlist, the Take Care Drake, Scorpion Drake, like that's real Drake, right? Like I'm holding out that that's truly who he is. Because bro, a line that killed me was like someone commented on some of the stuff on the stream and like, oh shit, it's happening, he's breaking character. And it's just like, fuck, bro. Yeah. Like, and I think it is because bro, like you're so fucking present at a time where you're getting bodied by the music, bro. So like why your need to be so present is only making people, as we're all bopping our heads to this music, look at you like, maybe you are a little bit funny, you know, with this shit, right? Think about like, you know, love Big Sean, but dude, like again, once Kanye's like, yeah, I don't fuck with him, we're like, maybe I don't fuck with him. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's like, I think it's that, bro. Like this guy's desire to be so fucking in the present. I have to be number one right now. Like I can't go away and it's like, dude, all this legal shit, this to get out of his deal as well. So maybe I hope it's that with some weird UMG thing where he's like, I need to be free from this and this might help me. Maybe, bro. But as a Drake fan, bro, like, man, it's hard right now, bro. Because I'm really holding out that like, yo, those bangers, bro, that I listen to all the time, that's Drake, right? But like this version of him, bro, and then dude, even again, it was funny when like there's nothing else going on and he's doing a hookah stream and he's like, Anita Max Quinn, my alter ego. But now it's like kind of weird, bro. It's just like a female emoji that you're just like, that's your character. It's like,
yeah,
all right, like in the moment it doesn't matter, but with the everything else happening, it's just like sus, man. And I love the guy to death. Again, I we all go through weird moments, bro, but that's why they always say, man, take your L's and learn from it. And I don't think he ever and was just like, nah, fuck that never happened, keep it moving, right? I think him deleting all this shit on Instagram, keep it moving. It's like maybe you just need to fucking just go away and figure out why you fell in love with music in the first place to come back with some stuff that is actually like, cool, perfect. Not this need to like, yo, how can I make the generic hit and like get people back on my side, right? Because I feel like everyone will get on his side again if he gives us 12, 13 songs of a body of work that says something besides, I have toxic bitches in my DMs who want to be with me. And it's like, bro, right. I understand that. I would love that for me too. But like at some point that can't be your life, bro. So like, yeah, man, as a Drake fan, bro, honestly, me, bro, and you know how like this runs like years, bro. It's like, I'm looking at this like, bro, is this the end, dog? And like, even in the midst of like, Not Like Us, I was like, oh, bro, whatever, bro. He lost 1L. Who gives a fuck? We'll move on. He lost to Pusha T. Like, it is what it is. But bro, it's his actions that are, I feel like, making this thing feel way worse because he's just like so adamant about like, I won in this way or technically this, or it's just like, bro, just go away for a little bit, bro. You have so much music out. We're going to keep consuming. Yo, bro, he's still the #1 selling artist this year by like millions of records, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we're good off you, man. Like, you can go away and it's fine. So, yeah, man, I feel like a lot of this stuff is like really like self-inflicted. And the weirdness of him is like also very self-inflicted.
No, very well put. And I'll be honest, I've been very disappointed and also thinking like this might be the end. And I know I've kind of alluded to it in previous months, like, oh, Drake's already peaked, like, is this his downfall or whatever? But I never confidently thought it would actually come to a point where like the culture just, throws him to the wayside or whatever. And it seems like now he's kind of showing his true colors, like, oh, I'm not a man, I'm just a $1 billion business, and like this move is just to keep the machine going, and I don't give a fuck about the battle or the genre or whatever. And my fear is that it'll be some like Post Malone type shit where overnight he's over here making songs in fucking
like Ibiza
Brazil or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm here to make hits. And that's something I've been a fan of Drake, and I was hoping, even though it was exciting to see Kendrick win, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I hope this fuels something in Drake to like go away and reinvent himself and come back stronger than ever. But it seems like he's like, no, I need to be here all day, every day, doing something, getting attention somewhere. Like every media personality I can think of is telling him to go away. And I get it. Like if your ego's that big, like maybe you don't want to listen to the masses, but it seems like the obvious solution for him, and it seems like he's just obsessed with latching on to whatever the new hot thing is instead of his legacy. And to each its own, but it's kind of a pathetic route if he purely only cares about what new thing he can monopolize because of his brand or whatever.
Yeah, dude, 100%, man. And it just feels like, I feel like this beef was lost because I feel like the way they approached it was so different. Like it almost feels like, and again, bro, not that, again, Drake's a great artist, right? But it feels like Drake wanted to beat him for like the cinema of it. Like, oh, watch me knock out one of your favorite rappers once and for all, right? Mm-hmm. And whereas like Kendrick came at him on like some pure like, no, bro, I'm better than you. And this is like, think about like Jake Paul fighting someone, right? Like at some point, Jake Paul's going to actually fight a fighter and get knocked the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
But I think in this situation, Drake is so used to being the one knocking out people who obviously aren't as skilled as him, right? And it's able to work. But I think in this, like, yeah, man, I think this was the one time that like he just wasn't prepared for this, bro. And like you can't just do the how can I win this from like a marketing entertainment play? Like this has to be like, how can I do this to show the world I'm actually better than this guy? Right? Because even on like what was that song that we fucking love? The J. Cole song with Drake, the Big Three.
First person shooter.
First person shooter. Like that song was about like how I'm bigger than you. It wasn't about, it was never about how I'm better than you. Right. Yeah. And I think that's his biggest downfall in this situation right now, bro. It's like, I'm going to always show you how I'm bigger than you. And it's like, bro, who gives a fuck, bro? Like, and that's my fear, bro, when like he made that comment. I know it might have been like a throwaway comment. He's going through it. People are loving, you know, Kendrick's album. But on that stream when he was like, man, change that. Rap is weird anyway. It's like, bro, you're meant to be rap.
I'm glad he brought that up.
Like, bro, you're rap. Like, you're rap. So like him saying that, dude, I was like, whoa, bro. Like, I remember being at my fucking desk in college, listening to fucking So Far Gone like multiple times, replaying it because I'm like, bro, this is insane. Like, this guy can speak to my soul in a way that's crazy as a 21-year-old. And then you're gonna tell me 13 years later, like it was just like a dude. If you thought I was offended by Post Malone, wait till like I put the book out on this, bro. Like,
we can say rap is weird, but when you're claiming to be the best to do it, you better fix this shit.
Correct, bro. Like if your option is like, yo, let me just dip from my label and like get my bag and leave, that's. And again, I'm not saying we're not saying he's gonna do that, but yeah, bro, that comment was crazy to me, dude. And like, I don't know if some people saw it as like a throwaway comment, but I'm like, bro, if you're the king of rap, my guy, like show us what rap needs to be. Don't just go run off and do a random ass Mexican Spanish song that we never heard again, because clearly it was never going to be anything besides like, oh, let's see if some other genre will fuck with me right now.
Right. That Mexicans apparently don't like either, by the way, because I asked a couple of my friends and saw the comments and they're like, they appreciated Kendrick adding that Dodgers vocalist or whatever and those rappers more than Drake. And I think it's just because Drake did it in a much more inauthentic, like, let me latch onto this culture and get streams. And I think that's unfortunately the biggest argument of this Drake stands is the streaming numbers. Like I saw academics saying Drake's still the most streamed artist, fine, but that's not the battle. The battle is about the culture.
Yeah.
Drake's fighting a whole nother battle. I looked at his top 10 stream songs this year and like 5 of them weren't even considered rap. It was like One Dance, fucking Work with Rihanna, which is like dance hall. Not to diminish his talent, but again, he's trying to be the biggest just human being fucking ever.
Yeah.
Kendrick's trying to fight for the culture. And I think that's why people are now looking at him sideways. And that I just forgot about that rap is weird comment, but that does sound like some Post Maloney exploitative shit.
Yeah, bro. Dude, yeah, I'm telling you, bro, it's tough right now, dog. Like I'm listening, I think I sent you a couple links on SoundCloud. So his 2 DJs, Mark and Noel, they do OVO sound radio every other Friday. And bro, like I listen to that religiously because they play you like that classic Drake, bro, like 2016, like B-side albums, right? And I'm just like, oh, bro, this has to be the guy who I fucking fell in love with, dog. But then, I'm telling you, these recent moves, bro, you're just like, bro, what is going on, my guy? Like, why are you so like afraid to just chill? You know, dude, like, I remember like, dude, I'll be like, dude, my biggest L's in life, like either my mom passing or like, dude, me breaking up with a girl and moving to Florida on my own, like living on, you know, like that picture on Instagram, bro, when like every guy has like an air mattress in an empty apartment with a small ass TV. It's like the start of something new. Like, bro, just go do that, bro. And you're going to do that in a fucking mansion the size of neighborhoods. Like, why can't you just go away and enjoy your life? Like, bro, again, God forbid. So I'm not putting this out there, but like, that's what we say about a lot of people who have like those, like when you get that rich and you still have like those mental burdens, you're like, oh, fuck, dude, money can't solve this for you. So you really have a problem, right? So yeah, man, it's interesting. I think the next 12 months are going to be, we're going to get all the answers we need. I don't think this, like, I feel like by the end of 2025, we'll know if he was really down for it because he loved it, or if he was really just chasing the bag and this was the easiest way.
Yeah. And I hope it was just this temporary thing where he was in his head and, you know, didn't know what to do, but he really deep down loves rap and he's just kind of like feeling bitter or something. But
but think about how fire of an album would that be of just talking about that?
Yeah, he should. And just
be honest too, bro.
Talk like, about all these like random fucking rager rappers that like are making bullshit. But the problem is he's making all the fucking music that we've complained about as well. So it's like, I don't even know what he would call weird when he's.
Well, I think call yourself weird. I think that when you call yourself weird, it's like, bro, I got caught up in the bullshit. I just wanted, like, whatever, bro. But I think there's a path here. Again, if he truly loves this shit, bro. Because again, you're only going to be, you will only make a self-deprecating body of work if you're prepared to be critique, right? Yeah. Like Jay-Z calling himself out for cheating on Beyonce was a man super secure in his vulnerable moments, right? Yeah. Like Kendrick letting the world know that his aunt is now his uncle or whatever the fuck that was, is someone like prepared to like, I don't give a fuck what you think. I've already come to terms with this, right? So again, bro, I think there's gonna have to be a version of that for us to be like, all right, bro, he gets it. You know, we'll give him a pass, bro. We've all had crazy moments.
I hate throwing Jack Harlow into very important moments like this, but you know that album, was it Jackman? That was like the more introspective.
The one of him like in front of the trash can?
Yeah, and he's talking about how he lost his confidence because his debut or that album didn't sell and all kinds of shit. Do you think Drake should be on some like pure hip hop? Oh, woe is me. Like this battle took a toll on me and I've been going through shit type of approach? Or do you think he should just kind of like vaguely allude to it, but just get straight into like undeniable bangers?
I mean, dude, I think it's almost going to be like a mixture of all those things, right? Because even to like, what's the only critique I have really had about Kendrick's album, right? Is the whole gotcha Drake. I don't think he needs an album of like, oh, whoa, Drake, sad me, right? But I think you have a couple of those songs where you're like truly touching on those topics, bro. Like, again, bro, like I had a great moment. I went out with two of my boys that you know, Drew and Sam. And remember, like for my first dance with my aunt, it was the Drake song. The one about like he's talking about how his like aunt loves him so much and like he can't, like, dude, those are like, bro, if you can create a song like that, dude, there has to be in you somewhere, bro. Like there's a way that he can make a banger that we love to listen to, but also is shedding light on like real shit, right? Like I think that's our overall frustration with him, is that like, bro, like, yes, I love For All the Dogs, like eventually, because I'm like, all right, man, fuck it, I'll just take the bangers for what it is and move on, right? But some of those songs we're like, bro, like, how are we talking about this? Like, why are we talking? Like, I think I'm like, bro, this is so toxic. I'm trying to leave this life. Like, why is he talking about this? Like, so yeah, I think it would have to be all that, bro. Again, the bangers that we're used to for him, but also songs where he's like, man, I was really this guy touched me up in a way that I couldn't even, I didn't understand what the fuck happened. Just own that, bro. Like, because again, bro, like, as we keep going down this road, forget who's the king, right? Because he'll always have the crown and the idea of like, I'm the biggest artist ever, right? Because these numbers are going to just be ridiculous by the end of it, bro. But remove the idea of like, I'm the best rapper, like move off from that. Like, doesn't matter at this point. Like, bro, this is a crazy statement that I never thought I'd be making in 2024, especially after what, dude, like last year, like when we were all going to his concerts, all loving life, bro. This next album needs to be a reminder of why we even believe he's a rapper, which is crazy, dog. Like his next album will literally define his rap career, which again, shouldn't need a definition really, but I think there needs to be a statement made, bro, where it's like, nah, man, like I'm here. Like I've always been here. I got caught up in the bullshit. My bad. I'm still young, you know, like I'm almost 40, but like he's still young in the aspect of life. So, cause yeah, bro, this is a weird spot for him, bro. Like weird, man. Like, cause everyone's looking at him sus, bro. Like, bro, you good, man? Like, yeah.
And every move just seems like whatever Kendrick does, it seems like Drake makes the worst possible move.
The worst possible move, bro. But again, that's why you go away. bro, because we're already looking at you crazy because this guy says some clever ass shit. We're just like, I never thought about it that way, right? And then he just keeps doing. Dude, I'm telling you, bro. When he released the Anita, I forgot about Anita Max, that picture. So when he released that image on IG, I was like, bro, like, this is what the fuck you're doing right now, bro. Like, you could have named the tour anything else. Drake goes to Australia tour. Like, you have to like make it this. Like, I was like, dog, you gotta. I don't know who's in your PR team, or like you just got a bunch of yes men who are terrified to lose the bag, but it's crazy.
I mean, even the simple fact that he comments about how like streamers are making more than whoever and he's hanging out with them. Like, I really do feel like now that I think about it again, like he's on some like Tekashi 6ix9ine type shit, like just obsession with being the talk of the town. Doesn't matter if you're on podcasts, streaming, gambling, like on the fucking ESPN, like you name it. Like he just has to have his ego, fulfilled. And I don't know if it requires an ayahuasca trip like Kendrick alluded to and what else, but I think he genuinely like must have had major insecurity issues like as a younger person. And ever since he blew up, like he got so accustomed to being the guy that he believed in himself and was like, I'm that motherfucker. And when Kendrick and Pusha T stripped down every goddamn insecurity he probably had, he's like, oh shit, like I can't confront this. I gotta just get my validation from here and these streamers and this bitch and whoever. And I think that's why it's hard for him to disappear, because then that means self-reflection. And I think he's terrified of what that could lead to.
Dude, it's so funny because I was just having this conversation with my wife, because I have this terrible habit, bro. Like after, like whenever I'm done working or whatever, I always have like something playing. Like I always have a podcast going on in the background. I always have the TV on, like something, bro. And I've tried to do a better job because sometimes like I'm afraid of like just like the quietness for whatever reason. So imagine someone like at his level, right? At the biggest level, you're being confronted because these people are making songs about like how you're not who you think you are. So, bro, it must be like a million times worse, bro. Like he probably does all this shit because the quietness is terrifying for him. But yeah, dude, but I think that quietness is the only way he's gonna find clarity, bro. Because this shit is like, bro, dude, it's only been 7 months, and bro, if you think it's it's gonna be bad the Super Bowl, it's gonna be bad fucking the Grammys. And bro, it's going to be bad, bro. And that's like 2 months away. So, and if he drops an album in March, bro, like you said, there's a road here that there won't even be a window for him to come out with anything, because Kendrick is just going to take over the next like year and a half, bro. So,
right. And it's only helping Kendrick. I mean, yeah, it's only helping Kendrick by him remaining present through all this shit. Because then his opportunity to come back might not be till fucking 2030 at this rate. And at that point, will we really care?
That's dude, 100%, bro. That's my thing. Like, you're not even giving us a reason to look forward to your body of work because you keep dropping shit, right? Like a song here, 6 songs here. I'll give you 3 songs, but remove 1. It's like, okay. And dude, again, I enjoyed those songs, but again, they're nothing moments, bro. Those songs did nothing, right? Like, I think, what was it? Caribbean Rhythm or Circadian Rhythm? That one did something, right? And the SOD one I love, but the fact that that's not even available anywhere, we can't even replay that shit. So like, bro, like, yeah, man, like again, when you do like the chess moves side by side, dude, it's like a chess champion playing against some like retarded kid who just knows what the pieces are, and it's just like, bro, it's bad, bro. Like it's bad. Yeah, very interesting, bro. I truly think he just needs to go away. I think he just goes away, bro. Go to Australia, come back, do like just be in a studio, fucking have a fucking picture of this dude at the Grammys, and like use that as motivation, as a reminder why you fell in love with this shit, right? Because otherwise, bro, again, I'm really hoping this is only like a 10% chance, bro. But again, there's some Post Malone creeping in out of this, bro. Like dude, that comment did not, dude. Why is rap weird? Bro, what? Bro, like, that is crazy, dude. That is crazy. That's Tommy Richmond shit. Like, I'm not a rapper. It's like, the fuck you aren't, bro. What do you mean? Like,
And you're saying it to like, you're broadcasting that shit to millions of like random white kids who.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You didn't
perception
say that shit on Drink Champs or Rap Radar. Like, you said this on the most non-cultural podcast or platform ever. So like, you feel real comfortable to say that on that platform? Like, that's crazy, bro. That's like going on The View and like saying, I don't like black people. Like something stupid, bro. Like,
basically. Yeah,
like, bro,
motherfucker can't make a right move to save his life.
Dog, I'm telling you, I was like, all right, this is like a weird play, but let's see what he says. And when he said that, I was like, bro, I think like dude, I'm telling you, some woman like commented, oh, he's breaking character. And I was just like, oh, bro, like, is this really who he is, bro? Like, is he just like a very good actor? Right? Yeah. Like, that's like, bro, like, that's like my biggest, I'm like, bro, is this guy just an actor? Like a very good actor?
Well, that's always been the interesting thing, is that's always been the running joke or whatever, but we never believed it because we're like, how do you act and make music this great? And then
correct,
also
because the music was that great.
Life. Yeah.
The music was that great, bro. Like, I remember, dude, this was like, I was still in college, bro, 2011. And like I was playing So Proud of You with him and Nicki Minaj. And like one of my boys in the back was like, bro, he's a fucking Degrassi character. Get the fuck out of here with this. And I'm like, bro, this is phenomenal. So like, if he's an actor, greatest and dude, for him to keep that act up for 12 years is, I can't believe that, bro. There's no way, dog. Like, there's no way. There's no way. There has to be, again, this just has to be a guy who, again, maybe the end of the Roman Empire, but at his core, I still believe he is who we think he was, bro. Because again, bro, those bodies of work were too good, bro. There's no way.
I just think he's on some like Jamie Foxx shit where you're like, he's good at all kinds of different things, and just, you know, there's people that like that just have a bunch of talents, and it just so happened hip hop just got saturated as fuck. He extracted as much as he could out of it, and Kendrick had time and was like, fuck this. And
that's all Kendrick's good at. So he's like, bro, yeah. I'm a master. Like, you're a jack of all trades, master of none, right? Mm-hmm. But bro, my thing is like, bro, he was a master. Like, that's the, bro. Because he was the guy, bro, think about it. Like, Kanye said it multiple times. Kanye was like, Kanye and Jay-Z only released Watch the Throne because they're like, bro, we got to put this young dude in check because he's too good. Right? Like, and bro, that was like Drake wasn't just good when like Gunna was around, bro. Like, Drake has been good during Jay-Z's era. Lil Wayne retired early because of fucking how good Drake was, right? Like, nah, I get it. I'm trying to like not be prisoner of the moment, but I get it, because of the moves he's doing in this present moment, it's like, how can you not be? So
yeah. Do you think, really quickly, I know we're got some more stuff, but do you think if this petition turns into a lawsuit, gets Not Like Us like somehow dismissed from the Super Bowl performance, like that'll be the nail in the coffin? Like, people will never forgive him for that?
I don't know, bro, because I feel like that then will, again, I only say no because I don't think Kendrick will not allow the song to be played. Right? Because I don't think there'll be a situation where Kendrick will be like, well, I wanted to play it, but you know, homeboy got legal charges. Like, I don't think he wants to keep that pandering going. I think he genuinely likes beating him for I'm better than you. So I think he wants the I'm better than you song to be played on the biggest scale. So I think there's the only chance that song is not played is that if Kendrick is okay with it not being played. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but, and again, now that he has like 4 or 5 bangers now, I think he might just play a version of that, bro. Have the band come out to that and then just go into something else. Like, I don't know.
Transition the TV off or something.
Yeah, but again, I could definitely see Jay-Z and like the people who are running the show be like, bro, we can't have you saying A minor and PDF on a fucking, like, I think that would be normal, right? Like, I don't think, like,
I mean, he let the crowd do it anyways during his
something
pop out.
Correct. But I don't think like I don't think that's more of a, forget the defamation lawsuit. I think that's like a general, like, bro, you can't be saying that, bro. Like, we would censor, if it was on the radio, we would censor it out on the radio as well. Like, we can't have you saying that.
Man, white people were about to be so confused during the performance.
Oh, how
Imagine
so?
how much just imagine some 56-year-old like middle-aged white lady and her husband trying to figure out what's going on and like why the songs are causing their kids to go crazy. Like the backstory of all this shit would take minimum like 15 minutes.
Bro, more, bro. Because I'm still stuck on the thing where like, how did we go? You guys were on tour together 12 years ago. He's on your debut album that goes crazy. Dude, the fact that he has a song on Take Care where I think it's what, Buried Alive?
Yeah, I think so.
So Buried Alive, the fact that he's on Take Care by himself, bro, that's not even a Drake featured song. It's just Kendrick Lamar on Drake's album in 2020, like 2012. So like how we got from that moment to today, bro, that's like a fucking 45-minute fucking like I don't even know. Like the pie charts are crazy for that one.
Yeah, you need some like NYPD detective to chart it out. But do you really think the Control verse was like the catalyst to all this? Because I keep seeing that. I'm like, over a bar that it wasn't even disrespectful.
Well, if
that's how egotistical Drake would have to be.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. If it was really that song, then that just proves everything we've been saying for the last like 25 minutes. Like that's where in his mind he cannot ever be critiqued that way. And again, I know Button can be a troll, but think about it, bro. When Button's diss For All the Dogs, dude, Drake wrote a fucking essay saying that you're a fucking failure. You're just, and it's like, bro, like what are you doing, bro? Like why do you care? Like,
you're on a yacht with like 30 supermodels, fucking eating caviar and still bothered,
bro. And that's the scary part, bro. When money can't solve your problems, bro, and all you have is yourself, bro. That's where he's at right now, bro. Because I don't think there's any rapper who has more money than Drake right now. Not even close. No. And he's still dude. Another thing from that stream, that motherfucker looked unhappy.
Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is, when people are unhappy when they spend so much time trying to appear unbothered. Like he had to make that his whole intro. Like, I'm intact, like still here, but don't play that guy. Don't play that guy. I hate rap. Like, that doesn't sound like unbothered behavior.
Bro, if you still have to talk about her all the time you go out, you're not over her, bro. And he's not over this situation. He's not, bro. But again, I do think we'll find out in 2025 the final verdict of this. I don't think, again, because one, I don't think he can keep himself out of the spotlight for too long. And two, at some point, the culture I don't think the culture has turned their back on him. Because I think there's a lot of people like me who are Drake fans who there's just so much beauty in his music that we're still holding on to that. But at some point, even us, we're going to be like, I don't know, bro. I think you played us, right? I think you played us. So we'll see. But again, we'll see how it works out. But before we get out of here, I feel like we got to already know. Let's just do it anyway. Anything before Heat of the Week? Or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, so Heat of the Week, episode 197, everywhere. Dude, it's just so obvious though with this fucking. All right, bro. Everything Kendrick Lamar, obviously, right? So we'll put TV off as mine. I know you'll probably have one as well, just for the sake of the pod and to let people know that there's other things out there that are also very good. Amine dropped a 4-song EP called MP3s. He has a song with Smino, which is fire, but my favorite song is Adam. It's that perfect Amine, chilled, laid back flow, not trying. He could be singing, but he's really rapping. Everything you love about Amine, besides the party banger stuff. So if you have some downtime from listening to Kendrick Lamar, GNX, listen to Amine's little EP, and the song itself is called Adam.
Nice. For me, honestly, I wasn't really listening to a whole lot besides Kendrick. There was a cool Marshmello EDM song called Lights On, but haven't really revisited all that much. So I have really no choice but to just say this particular Kendrick song, because I listened to this at least 50 times.
Which one?
And it's Peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
And
Yeah.
I've actually seen some critiques about it because obviously it's TV Off and Squabble Up stole the spotlight, but I appreciate the production's amazing. But I appreciate songs that are more quote unquote basic or simple sometimes. I think people love to critique stuff because when you read it on paper, yeah, it sounds stupid as hell. Peekaboo mentioned like 30 times, but when you listen to it, it just goes together and flows. And
is Peekaboo the one that says like "boop bop bam"? I'm on that shit.
Yeah, that one.
Okay,
yeah. And people are like, oh, like these are the bars that you're praising of Kendrick, but like Kendrick clearly wasn't trying to do anything fancy, but it worked in my opinion.
100%, bro. Yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah.
And the
dude, if we give Drake credit for those lines where he doesn't even say the word that we know he's about to say, which means the word is so fucking obvious, but we can give credit to Kendrick for being like so simple that it just works, like
right. Yeah. And even the feature was dope. AZ Chike or whatever. I don't know. I thought all these rappers held their own because I know we've kind of pointed at the fact that LA rappers kind of have a different style. Sometimes they seem like offbeat or like their bars are, on the weaker side of things. But I think everyone held their own. And even though it was gangster rap, like found a way to make it sound different and hit different. And Peekaboo for me ended up being a surprising favorite, even though I enjoyed the whole album. So
agreed. I would say, dude, Dodger Blue was also a surprise favorite of mine because I feel like that was your
second favorite.
I would say I don't know, man. Luther's fire. I would say top 3 for me are TV Off, Luther, and Dodger Blue. Dodger Blue was like
Roddy killed that.
Very good, bro. Like I was like, it was because again, TV Off. I didn't want to move off from that song, right? So I'm like, all right, bro, what's next? And then I was like, all right, this is pretty good. Like I enjoyed this.
Yeah. I know Drake must have been pissed when he heard Luther because that sounded like if Drake had that same sound, for sure a hit.
I mean, Luther Vandross is a hit in like for anyone. I would just say, side note, back to the GNX album, I would say we never mentioned it, dude. The sampling on the overall album is insane. The sampling is crazy, bro. Right. Yeah, bro. Like there's so many songs on this. Like again, and that once we even found out that woman from the Dodgers games is like a real human being that's like present today, I was like, holy shit, bro, how did you make this work? And like, obviously I know you've been studying Spanish, but like it's not just a thing that sounds nice so he has it. Like the things she's saying are very reflective of like what he's going through leading up to this album, right? So like, dude, like it's just like it's all very well done. This is not just like 12 songs of him like rapping his ass off. Like these are very well executed like songs, bro. Like these things, like nothing is happening by accident. These are all things that are very much like, hey, I have this idea in my head. Like, can we make this work? So that was, I think that was what the most, because dude, like, again, Whacked Out Murals, bro. Like that is an insane way to start like a gangster rap album, bro. That shit is terrifying. And then to go from that song to Squabble Up, where like the hook is like a legendary techno song, like that's like, bro, like this guy's crazy, bro. This guy's fucking insane.
Right. And people need to give more credit where credit's due, because all the points you mentioned, I think people forget. One, I mean, not even forget, don't know how fucking hard it is to make a song to begin with, but to have like 12 songs kind of be cohesive and all tell the same story and like deliver similar messages, like that's really hard. Like, sure, there's a billion love songs out there, but to make a good one is fucking hard. And it doesn't matter if it's the same subject that a billion other people have discussed. It's how it sounds, the delivery. And then on top of that, what you just discussed, like the song that came before it, the song that comes after it, the sampling can be lazy, but it clearly wasn't in this case. So like all those subtle things you have to, it's almost like a miracle that it all worked that way in this case.
Yeah, Miracle is. I mean, dude, but they say that like again, if you have a true classic album, that's like a miracle in itself, right? You got producers to see your vision, you got features to believe in what you're trying to say, right? Because think about like, bro, like again, because at least to me, like you obviously know better being from the West Coast, but like a lot of these rappers are no-name rappers. That a safe thing for me to say? Obviously, besides Roddy Ricch, right? These
outside
guys like
of LA.
Yeah, correct. And obviously, SZA, I'm sure he was, I don't know how hands-on he is with SZA as far as like helping her create ideas. But like, I guarantee there was a moment on TV Off, Hey Now, Peekaboo, that these guys may have had verses for him. And he was like, nah, that's not what I want. Do it this way. Right. And like, they had to go in and like, change it because like it wasn't like, whereas like again, you know those bullshit features where it's like, yeah, bro, here's a song, if you play it, cool, send me a check, if not, like who cares, right? Like I feel like these things were genuinely like made with the idea of like, bro, we're talking about this idea, and like if I'm saying this, I need you to come this way, like bro, like you could just tell, bro, whereas like nothing felt forced. And again, that's why I think I'm appreciative of this shit only being like 45 minutes long, because like you can't get that cohesiveness over like an hour and 20 minutes of songs where like 30 of the minutes is just bullshit.
Yeah. And I found myself, even as much as I enjoyed it, by the 12th song, I'm like, oh, thank God there's no more. Cause like that's all I needed.
No, dude, because I think that feeling, and I'm speaking for myself, like, but I think it's like the exhaustion of the extremes, bro. Like it's like, bro, I don't want to go anywhere else. Let's just stay right here, because I don't want to go like high or too low. Like let's just like stay in this pocket. So but yeah, man, kudos to him. But yeah, the sampling, bro, I don't think we didn't mention that to this point. Like, yo, the sampling was crazy. So again, shout out to him. Episode 197 in the books. Let the people know, my guy, where they can find us.
Yes, sir. Check us out at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms. Please check out the Heat of the Week selections on Spotify and Apple Music via the website as well. Also got merch, and if you're on YouTube, check down below. Copy a hoodie. It's getting cold as hell, depending on
even in Miami.
Yep. Well, there you got it. So, purchase it no matter where the fuck you live, because if it's cold in Miami, it's cold everywhere.
Facts. Awesome, my dude. Also, obviously, donate. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Almost the end of the year, so we'll probably have a couple episodes left before we break for the holidays. But my dude, we'll talk soon. Glad you're back safe. Glad you had a great trip.
Appreciate it.
And peace. Love you, bro.
Peace. Love you too.